Oh, yeah. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of QLC Podcast, Quarter Life Crisis.
Ooh.
I am one of your co-hosts, Chris Sims, joined with two other co-hosts.
Beardless now. It's your
Yeah.
boy, Nolan Miller.
He's
we,
like
you know,
5
we had to
pounds
go.
lighter right
yeah,
here.
bro. We had to go
Yeah.
into the new year with just the fresh, trimmed
It's that 5
non-beard.
o'clock shadow.
And your boy Mitch Garrett over here with the Schnauzer socks.
Schnauzer
and
socks.
the Converse hat, bro.
Yeah,
Converse
dude.
hat.
Well, the
That's
reason I'm wearing a
different.
hat is because I didn't put anything in my hair, because I
swag.
just took a shower.
You kind of
Swag.
look like. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, but
Swagger.
you look like you got. You look like you need.
What do I need?
brand. You look like you're a brand person, dude.
A
You look- yeah.
hype beast? Is that the
Yeah,
word you're
hype
looking
beast,
for?
Hype beast, or like
I mean, hand-me-down sweatshirt, Walmart joggers, Schnauzer socks. I guess. The
Shout out
Converse.
joggers.
Yeah.
I was
Shout out
listening. I was
joggers.
editing our last podcast, and we really need a joggers sponsorship.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
for the love of God, if
Walmart
you make
joggers.
joggers, Walmart,
White Claws and
please,
Walmart
White
joggers.
and White Claws, bro.
Oh, boy. But there's another entity in the room with us.
Oh.
Entity.
An entity. Good old friend. Another co-founder of the Salty Geeks podcast
indeed, yes,
and website. A good friend of mine ever since the
Good friend of mine, too,
3-year-old.
actually.
I think I was 3. I think it was 3, and I met my good friend
Yeah,
Dallin
3.
Maycumber.
3
What
out
up?
of 4.
What up?
Welcome,
I
Dallin.
was, I think when I met Chris, I was just a little lonely bush.
All right, so a little backstory. I'm 3 years old, riding my bike up the street. You know, got my helmet on, training wheels on,
for
just
sure.
doing my old gangsta, just riding up the street, and I hear a bush say, "Hey." I was like, "What the fuck? Did this bush just talk to me?" I go a little bit farther. Oh, there's a kid sitting behind this bush just playing.
Fuck that kid, bro.
And then this kid was like, "Hey, you want to play?" I was like, "Sure." And that's where Dallin and I started our friendship.
Yeah.
Wow.
The talking
very
bush.
memorable.
Yep. I remember, man, it had to be at least for like 6 months to a year. I just referred to you as the kid that lived in the greenhouse.
Yeah, but Dallin was the kid that
Did
lived
you not
in
know his name?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
I want to hang out with the kid in the greenhouse.
But yeah,
What's his
then
name?
I met Mitch and Nolan at DMAC.
D-Max
Bears.
Introduce
Swag
yourself.
Squad.
Shout
Give us.
Yeah.
Who are you?
No, Dallin Maycumber.
Ooh. I remember we called
Yeah.
you Dallin all the time.
Dallin.
Dallin Maycumber. What's up? How long have you been sober?
0.
Zero. Not even a unit of time or
What's your
anything.
favorite color?
Zero.
Yes. Yes. That's my favorite color. I just am breaking my mic. I'm sorry, everybody, but it's, you know.
Here, let me put
No,
that back
it's
on
fine,
for you,
it's
baby.
fine.
No, come
Oh,
here.
what's
Let
up,
me-
fellas?
Damn.
How's everybody been?
Busy. I mean, we've had the new year happen.
The new year, 2020, new decade.
We had a party go on.
Dude, we need to
thanks-
talk about that party.
Thanks, Mitch, for bringing the fucking party. A lot of people didn't really, on my part, didn't want to show up or flaked out like usual. So
My
I'm
bad.
glad that I have friends like Mitch who have a lot of friends to
I'm
bring.
sorry that I didn't come, but I was
one's the worst friend.
I was in downtown Des
Downtown.
Moines, and I had a bunch of friends. We had like 15
Yeah,
people with
you were
us,
rolling
so,
deep, dude,
Yeah,
I
I was
know
rolling
that.
deep, so I it was just gonna be a hassle. Honestly, though, Ubers weren't that bad.
Really?
I will tell you that. We only
Okay.
spent like $12-15 per Uber per. We only stopped like twice. But like we went from
So
to
per
Bellhop-
person then?
Yeah, I mean $15 for the Uber.
Okay.
Total.
Yeah, dude, it
Holy
was like
shit,
super,
what?
I'm telling you, bro, it was like
Super cheap?
super
but
cheap.
to go home?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We also, but I will also say, right after it hit the New Year's, we hung out for like 10 minutes, and we're like, I was hammered, so I went home right away. But how was the party? Yeah, let's hear about this. I'm sorry that I missed.
Ooh.
I'll go ahead and give my side of the story.
Yes,
Then I want to hear
please,
your side
please.
because
Oh God! So it went down.
It did
oh
go
yeah,
down.
for sure, dude. So my thing was Taylor really wanted to go out. She's like, I want to get dressed up.
Oh
And be
yeah,
all
I remember that.
fancy and go downtown Des
Me
Moines.
and Chris remember
And
that.
I'm just like,
Ain't that the
I'm
truth?
just kind of like, I mean, we could, but we could also like just go to some person's house and celebrate.
Chris.
Like, I've done the, I think, no, it wasn't. I think it was Halloween for AJ's, not New Year's Eve. I don't know if I've actually gone out to the bars. All I know is I remember one time we were gonna go, and then we got texts from people saying like cover at like beer can was like $50 or something.
Like usual.
Jesus.
Yep, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
yep.
and I'm just kind of like, so we were trying to get a whole bunch of people together to go downtown Des Moines, and we couldn't get people to go. So Taylor and I were just kind of like, well, fuck it, we'll go down to Chris's, and then all of a sudden Taylor has a friend that's coming into town. And then we start texting other people. They're like, well, we won't go downtown, but we'll come over to your friend's place. And next thing we know, we just have a whole bunch of people show up.
Good shit. Good.
And I didn't know how serious
Good.
your party was, because I thought all you were doing was having a get-together, like, if you want to come over, but otherwise we're just kind of drinking. And then, because all I knew was it was a decade-themed party.
Damn straight.
You bet.
So that's all we went with. I didn't know how serious it was. And then we showed up with like 10 people, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
And we
Good.
walked in, and you had the place fucking decked out like
Duh,
beer pong
bro.
table, and like you had the little platters of food and shit. I'm like, and you guys were dressed up. I'm like, oh shit, I'm glad we brought people. Like I didn't know it was gonna be this kind. I didn't know what it was, and it was a fantastic night.
Good.
Awesome.
Oh,
Dude.
good.
We
good,
got
good,
hammered,
good.
and we had like Denver was there, dude.
Good,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Logan and Shelby, Zach and Shelby showed up later.
Nice.
Sam and his girlfriend, Keegan and Mickey. Dude, we had a whole bunch of people over.
Good shit.
Yeah, Taylor's friend Sydney
Wow.
was there. Dude, yeah, dude, I did think for a
Sydney,
second.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. We
Yeah,
appreciate
dude,
it,
it
Sydney.
was a great night. So
It
thank
was
you, Chris,
awesome.
for having us. I woke up the next morning at 6 a.m. with the worst headache I've ever had in my life.
Damn,
I literally had to
bruh.
stumble into this bathroom and grab the Advil and just take
Good.
Advil and go back to bed.
Excellent. But yeah, like, so my side of the story, come back from Las Vegas 3 days until I'm having this banger of a party.
Oh, sorry. I mean, that's all we know how to do.
Absolute
Exactly.
ragers.
Bangers.
Last minute bangers. So, I get all dressed up dapper. Sarah's wearing her flapper dress.
Yeah,
we,
dude,
we
you guys
matching.
were dressed up.
Good. What decade was it? 20s.
20s, yep.
Nice.
Roaring 20s. I did like a
Nice.
modern spin, a
Okay.
modern spin.
I mean, I know Chris. Chris has got that swag.
That swagger. So, I was nervous because I was like, well, people might show up. We'll see what happens. Just waiting around. I have a friend come from high school, Dustin. Shout out Dustin. Dallin was sick, so he couldn't come.
Rip.
Fake, bro.
and
Fake
then-
news over
And
there.
then so I
Yeah,
go
I'm the
up,
worst.
I
No
go-
mercy.
I go upstairs to like take a piss or something. Next thing I know, oh, welcome. Fuck, and I hear a lot of people. I walk downstairs. Oh shit, Mitch has a whole squad of people.
Yeah,
I'm like,
dude.
all right, let's get started. Started drinking whiskey. Started playing some Irish poker.
Yeah,
Ride the
so-
bus.
Sydney, Taylor's
Oh,
friend, was
boy.
like, you know how we're going to start tonight off? We're going to play Irish poker with like 12 people, dude.
Yep.
That was awesome but awful at the same time, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out
Exactly.
Sydney. Damn.
Shout out
What
Sydney.
up, Sydney? Let's party.
But yeah, so I was like drunk, and my mom was there. My brother showed
Yeah,
up
dude.
later. Yeah,
Your
my
mom-
mom.
my
yes, bro. All
was your mom
moms are
drunk?
welcome.
My
bro.
mom was fucking shit.
Okay, I thought she was
Good.
drunk towards the end of the
Good.
night. I'm like, I can't tell if she's just like tired or something, or if she's like,
Yeah,
Drunk.
she was drunk because apparently she didn't eat anything that day.
oh
Good.
no, you guys
Good.
we had food.
My
I know.
girl, bro.
Yes.
Let's go.
Dude, and that was the thing too. We brought food as well. We had the little mini weenies and the crescent rolls. Dude, those things fucking slap.
That-
I have
yeah.
like 30 of those.
There's-
Good.
Yeah. So it was a great time. It
Good,
was,
dude.
man.
I was
I'm
drunk
sad
by
I
like
missed.
10.
I'm really sad that I
Hey,
missed
there's
out.
more parties, bro.
Oh, for sure. Valentine's Day party, same thing.
Oh, just
Ooh,
Just have
bro.
people
Yeah,
randomly
'cause I
show
know
up.
My ass is gonna be single, so I'm totally down
and
for
it's
that.
red, green, or yellow, right? So red is your take.
Oh, a
green
stoplight
good.
party is what you wanna-
Stoplight party. Ooh.
Ooh.
Everyone's wearing red, but Nolan shows
Yep,
up in all
yep,
green.
Yep. I don't even know if I own a green shirt, so I don't know how that'll work. But we'll make it happen, baby.
Oh, for sure.
Oh man.
Is green a real color?
I thought purple was a fake color.
Well, it is 2020, so I mean, green is the color of the year.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know.
April 20th.
That it makes complete sense. Okay, so
What's
I mean,
today's topic?
are we
Nolan?
just getting right into it?
We're
I think
getting right
we're
into
getting
it.
right
I think we're
into
just
it.
Jump right
recapping- I think we're recapping all music here. I do want to kind of start out a little bit different. with the music, because we'll get into it here, but I'm sure all you guys know, and I kind of have a hot take on it. I kind of went on a Twitter rant about it. Mac Miller is going to be released, or not Mac Miller, but there's going
posthumously.
Yeah, an album, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Mac Miller is coming out with a new album, if you call it Mac Miller.
Circles?
Like, yeah, something like that. It's Circles.
I think it's
it was like obviously recorded when he was still alive, and now they're releasing it when he's not alive, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, just because like I know that like his team is probably the ones who put this all together, and I'm sure they have like the right of heart, like that, you know, they're not looking for anything from it, but it's hard not to think of it as a money grabber, and then because like it's like. It's just not genuine. I think is like I know that all these people, you know, all the production to put this album together, they work closely with Mac and all that stuff, but it just doesn't feel right because he still doesn't have the final say. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Well, I would say it's been done a lot better than I don't know the name of it, but X's posthumous album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe his mom got the rights. I believe
his
mom got the rights to it, and she kind of like tried to milk that as much as she can.
I was about to say, wasn't his mom like some gold digger basically, more or less just looking for any dollar she could get?
Wow. I feel like Mac's posthumous album's been done pretty tastefully, as in like it's been, you know, I don't know if it's been over a year or so since he passed away, but
which is wild. Yeah.
But really I mean, they just like announced it. There's no like real big build up or any like building hype or trying to milk anything. They just say, you know, this is the album. It's going to come out this day. You know, this is it.
And I agree with that. I don't think that there's like anything that's like, I don't think people are looking for, but it's just hard not to like naturally think that like, wait a second, you know what I mean? Like I don't think that anybody on Mac Miller's team would be like that. And
I mean, definitely,
you know what I mean? But it's just like hard not to like just have those natural feelings, be like, okay, wait a second, what's really going on?
Well, I mean,
I
feel like personally, if I had the option to hear more of his stuff or not, I'd rather hear it.
Yeah,
true. You know, I'm like looking forward to it, and I don't know if you listened to the single that's been released.
Yeah,
it's definitely very interesting. It has like a very like more I don't know if I want to say like indie vibe to it. It's a lot more like singing.
He's dude, and that's the thing about Mac Miller. Shout out Mac Miller.
R.I.P.
I mean, I've been like, I don't know about you guys at all, but I've been listening to Mac pretty much from the beginning. Not like the Kids mixtape I didn't listen to, but like, I mean, I have listened to, but I didn't get into him until like Best Day Ever. And that's the thing about Mac that everybody seemed to comment on, is that like he started out, you know, with this like frat boy rap, and then he like Mac Miller every single album just kept evolving, like, you know, kept pushing it further, kept finding new sounds, and that's what I really respected about that. And I feel like this new album is going to be something that we haven't heard from Mac ever, just because it's evolved to like the indie, but I think it's going to be like not a rap album. I don't know. Different. Maybe not.
I feel you. It's just different because like the post-mortem kind of stuff, because like even Lil Peep, he came out with 2 new albums after his death in 2017.
Really?
And it's just like, it's weird because it's like, you know, they record this stuff and then their team has to like at least put it together. Yep. Someone has to put it together and then be like, all right, this is stuff that they've been working on, or
and
it's insane.
I think my argument is like, what I'm trying to get at is with the whole just like same thing with like all, you know, just in general, is that like if it was supposed to be released to the world, it would have been. Yeah. It's kind of my thought. Like if Michael Jackson came out with new songs now, it's I mean, yeah. But I mean, like, you know what I mean though? Like, there's all of these artists record thousands of songs. I don't care what artist you are. Like, you record thousands of songs, and not even probably 99% of them don't get released to the world. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of my thought process.
Was this already a project he was working on, or is this just scraps of his last album?
I heard that
I shouldn't say scraps, but like
it
leftovers
was
or
like a
something?
sequel to the next
Okay.
to his last album. So it was in like it's like a project. It's
Okay.
a real thing. It's not like just like songs here, songs there.
I think
it's like
it'd
a
be-
real thing.
If
I
it
believe.
was big enough to do a release, from my perspective, if you want my 2
for
cents
sure.
here,
No, yeah, you're good.
release it how it is and just say this is what he was working on, this is how it was, and then from there I think it'd be really cool to see what people can do with that, and then from there sort of make it's like they're to make it seem like it's not a money grab, or like this isn't a money grab, like here's what he had for this next project, and then from there the community can be like, okay, I really like this, and work with it or something, instead of turning it into
I think I see where you're going,
Yeah.
but I think because I think Circles was a full on project.
Yeah.
I think it was like a real thing that was going to be released.
I just didn't know how much he had done
Yeah.
before they left, because it's one thing for him to pass away and then all of a sudden all that was left on the project was to master it. Like that's not
Yeah.
a big deal, but let's say only a third of the album was done. Okay, now
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
looking at something like where are they digging for these
Yep.
samples and these hooks and stuff. I want to know how much of the album was done before he died.
Well,
And then from there, what?
I say, well, from the single I've heard, sounds very complete.
Really?
Yeah, it's it sounds great. It sounds like it's might be a mostly complete project.
Okay.
And
I
I
know,
think
like
it
I was
was,
saying, like
and I think it
referring back
was.
to like X's
Yeah.
posthumous project. That thing was filled with a lot of half-ass features
Yeah.
to fill out the length of the songs.
Oh, damn.
So I believe that project was probably a lot like
Bits and pieces. Yeah.
yeah, like X probably had a couple verses here and there. I haven't listened to it, but I know it's just jam packed with features. And
what, the Mac
especially like
album or the X album?
X,
Oh,
X,
okay,
like
okay.
especially like a bunch of those people jumping on making new verses for a posthumous album for someone does feel pretty disingenuous.
Yeah.
They're trying to ride off of his
Coattails.
yeah.
For sure.
And from the single that has been released, it does sound complete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back.
And I think
I haven't listened to the single,
and
so
I
I'll have to listen to that.
when they released the statement, because they released the statement announcing that, and I think by the sounds of it, it sounds like it might have been just like a mastering thing, but I still, it just doesn't sit well. Like
Okay.
because I wish Mac was still here.
Oh,
and
for
I wish,
sure.
Definitely,
it's
definitely.
that's more of what I'm going at more than.
Was he 27?
I don't think so, bro. I don't think he made it to the 27 club.
I thought he was older than that.
No, bro, he's pretty close to us. I think it's cringy because a couple of his songs on Good AM or Good Morning, he talks about the 27 Club, and it kind of fucks you up a bit.
Wow.
But
Didn't notice that. But
I'm
yeah,
just
we'll,
curious here.
we'll bring up some Mac info. We'll get back to that.
good old Mac. Yeah.
So
bro.
we talking about like best music of
26.
2019?
Dude, I think we're gonna try to be
26?
like we'll start out with the 2019, but I think we'll be like
26.
what's the 26 years old? Yeah,
26.
shout out
Sweet,
Mac. Oh
Wow.
goddamn, poor. He died in 2018, bro. Holy shit.
Wow, it has been a year.
Wow.
Jesus fuck.
bro.
Yeah, a year and 2
Shout out Mac Miller.
couple months.
R.I.P. But I think we're gonna just get right back into it here. I think we're gonna start out with the 2019 albums that we all have picked. We kind of switched it up a little bit
Yeah, for
here,
sure.
where we kind of all picked our favorite albums from 2019, and we all listened. We all
Yes.
listened to all 4 of the albums all together.
Mhm. So we all have
to
our
talk
own
about.
opinions.
So we have our own opinions. But then I think we're gonna do like a what's that? Not Kids Bop, but the Now CD.
Now that's why I call it music.
Now, yeah,
So it's like
whatever.
the greatest.
Yeah,
Greatest
and
hits?
shit? Or
The
like-
greatest hits greatest albums.
The greatest
for-
album
of
Yeah,
this
we're going over
decade.
what we think are the greatest
But,
albums
yeah.
of.
you know
The
what
last
I
decade.
mean. You know what
we're
I'm
So-
talking about.
What I mean by that is these are the greatest albums of the last
Yeah, I
decade.
mean, obviously, I mean,
Our decision is final. Our opinion is right. Everyone else is wrong.
yes.
Hail
I mean,
QLC.
It only hail QLC. I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, like, we're the experts on literally everything. Yeah, check it out, bro. Oh God, don't do hail. Come on, bro.
Hail.
Hashtag what? Hell QLC,
You
bro.
better fucking tweet that. It's
Hell
gonna be
QLC.
trending. So, I think since Dallin's our guest, he gets to start off on his
Oh boy.
album
Let's go.
of the year.
Yeah, this was
2019.
Gamers.
Give us your before you even get into the album. Just give us your inspiration on why you wanted to come on here and what you wanted to talk.
Yo.
I mean, I was really looking forward to coming on here just to talk music with you guys. Like, you know, Chris has been the only person I've ever like sat down and listened to albums with. You know, I really, you know, we lived together for a year, and we spent that year just listening to a lot of different music, just
Betcha.
vibing out to
Sure.
stuff.
Steinbeck.
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 Out
Vatos.
Steinbeck, baby.
The Vatos of
Steinbeck.
Steinbeck. Shout out Tyler and the boys.
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
I really miss just hanging out with people, just talking about music, man. Like,
For sure, man.
I mean, I listen to pretty much everything except for country.
Yeah.
A lot of the new stuff. I mean, I
Yeah.
could listen to like some old school country, but
I don't go out of my way. I don't have anything against country. I just don't go out of my way to listen to it. If somebody plays it, I'll listen to it and respect it, and I'll get drunk to just about anything.
Yeah.
But I'm the same with you on that.
it just
for
depends.
sure.
Like a lot of new country sounds more like pop.
Oh,
Be more like pop.
Oh,
music.
definitely.
Hick hop.
Yeah.
It's what I've.
I
It's
like
what it's
it.
been
I
coined
like
as.
it.
I'm right there with you. I used to absolutely despise country because my dad, we'd go on road trips and shit, and that's all we listened to. And it wasn't until my parents got a boat and I went to New Zealand until I really was like respecting country. There was listen. There was a bar down in New Zealand called down in Courtney Place.
Down under.
If you can go ahead and go if you need to take a leak. Dallin's gonna take a quick break as we talk about country music. But there was a bar on Courtney Place which was like the Strip or like Welch Ave or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it was called Dakota, and this place was like 100% like what New Zealanders thought America like. Was like
Okay.
they had like a fucking mechanical bull in there and
Damn.
shit,
Hell
and like
yeah.
there was straw hats that you could grab as you walked in. Which,
my-
fun fact, straw hats are naturally like safe for you to wear because they can't hold lice or anything because of the type of material. So like they had just stacks of straw hats that you just grab and put on and put back. Yeah,
Huh, that's cool.
yeah.
It's a fact
It sounds
about it.
gross,
Fucking we got to New Zealand, bro.
but you walk in and you wear these straw hats and shit, and they'd play country, and goddamn, it wasn't until I'm like, damn, I miss America, dude.
Yeah,
America.
true.
Yeah,
bro.
that's what it was. It was, and they had like they always had deals on like Jack Honey for shots, so we'd be slamming Jack
Ooh,
Honey
bro.
and drinking beer, and yeah, it wasn't until then till I finally like country has this time and place. I'm not one of those people that listens to it all the time.
Yeah, same.
But I definitely it's grown on me.
Yeah, dude, like I like a good old country bar, dude. There's nothing wrong.
Beer Can Alley.
Yeah, Beer Can Alley.
Beer
yeah,
Can
man.
Alley.
Outlaws, dude. I don't mind. I don't know. It's always just a relaxed feel, and I don't
Oh, for
feel
sure.
like I have to.
Yeah, punching bags and
Yeah,
pool
bro. Yeah,
and
exactly, bro. Get that punch.
good old two-step.
All right, Dallin. Let's hear. So just getting into these 2019 albums, each of our favorites.
Yes.
Let's hear what you got to say. What's your
Well,
favorite?
Well, first off, I do want to say that, you know, I really want to talk to more people about music and stuff because I want to expand, you know, the genres of music I listen to.
Okay.
So I feel like
Sure.
the past 5-6 years, I feel like rap, hip hop has really just dominated like all my listening, and well, a lot of metal. I listen to like a lot of metalcore, a lot of hardcore shit. But with that said, my 2019 album of the year is a rap album. And it's got to be JPEGMAFIA's All My Heroes Are Cornballs.
Yes.
And I don't even know where to get started with this. I feel like the whole thing, like, it's got to be a lot of, like, the production for me is really what carries a lot of the album.
Okay.
Peggy, he not only MCs the album and all of his music, but he also produces all of his stuff.
Okay.
And I feel like that really carries, you know, a lot of like the cohesiveness of the album. What I really enjoy about it is like with the beats. First off, is I really like that, you know, every song has its own vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like a lot of the beats. You know, there's times where he just lets the production breathe and have its own moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of rap nowadays is just a lot of I don't know, generic trap beats, and all starts to sound the same. But I just feel like with a lot of his music, it just man, it's hard to put. It's hard to put like
for sure,
what's off
for
like
sure.
what you're feeling
Yeah,
into
for sure.
like words.
No, yeah, for sure.
I gotta say, like, I've listened to this album at least more than 50 times.
Really?
Holy shit.
Like when I work, I just throw it on replay.
Okay.
And every time I listen to it, like with the different beats and stuff, I always pick out a new melody, a new sample that's in these, and it I always find something new when I'm re-listening to it, and it's always just very fresh to me. As far as his emceeing goes, I feel like he has a pretty lockdown and like showing various emotions through his voice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of aggressiveness. There's laid back. There's some somberness to it. The only like major gripe I'd have with the album is he's not the best singer.
For sure.
But I do feel like throughout the whole album, he's shows that he's having a lot of fun with it, and he really enjoys it.
Hell yeah.
I just really enjoy like the. There's a lot. He uses a lot of like guitar samples in the first half of the album. I really enjoy those. I don't know what it is, just about it, but I really enjoy just everything.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
It's really hard. It's really hard to put your fucking words into
no,
like.
it is, yeah.
But like, and like with all that said, like, I do feel like this is an album that's not for everybody, and like if people don't enjoy it, I would totally understand, because he's very out there. The production's very experimental.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I say, yeah.
And I'm very excited to hear what you all have to say, even if it's like negative.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. I think we should each talk about our individual albums, and then we can start going into each other's albums and what we thought of it.
So Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
My thoughts
Well, I
on
start off like I do know I showed Chris this album when it came out.
yes,
His initial reaction to the first listen was very like
like
I don't want to
take it
say
back.
neutral or like negative, but he was not on it at first, and
No.
I want to know like with your re-listens how you feel about it now.
Yeah, see, so the thing was like I've heard of some of
let's-
JPEGMAFIA stuff.
for sure.
What are you trying to say?
I'm
here?
just saying. I think we should each go through our individual albums that we picked for the winners,
and then
we'll
touch
dive
base.
into each other. Then we can
Okay.
pick
Then we can
each
dive in.
one
Sounds
album
good.
at a time and dive into it.
Okay.
So, oh my god. So, it's hard for me to pick a favorite of anything.
Yeah.
And 2019 I struggled. We had a lot of good East Side rappers come out with good stuff, like Beast Coast came out with a great collab album.
Flatbush Zombies and
Joey Badass.
Joey Badass. Yeah.
We had
for sure.
Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
3.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah,
That was
a very
fucking
solid
banger.
album. Oh my god, what a cool project!
What a great
too.
project. And so that actually inspired my pick for the year of Earthgang's Mirrorland, because Earthgang was featured on Revenge of the Dreamers
And they're
3.
on Dreamville.
They are on Dreamville,
They're
yes.
part of that record label.
So, why pick a group when I can pick one of the main characters or like characters. So yeah, Earthgang definitely was my pick of the year with their Mirrorland. It was very soulful. I want to say very like it's definitely them. It's like kind of gets you going, almost like Chance back in the day.
Okay.
Acid rap.
Yep, Acid Rap was a good one.
He's
But yeah,
looking down upon us.
and I mean there was
Shout out, Chance.
tons
Thank you
of
for the views.
tons of great singles on that, like Swivel, Top Down.
Top down. Yep.
And what else am I thinking, Nolan? You can read my brain link.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
Proud of You.
Yeah.
Proud of You is another good one. So yeah, they have their own style in this song or in this album that kept their stuff going. but I guess we can get more into detail.
Soon. Yeah, so just getting into my album here a bit. Kind of, I don't know, a little bit different here. I'm an album guy, period. So when I listen to an album, I always look for, when I listen to any artist, I always look for an album.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to albums based on the, like, I want to listen to the whole thing from beginning to end because I'm always looking for, like, you know, a story, I guess, is what I look for in albums.
For
and this artist, YBN Cordae, I picked his album, The Lost Boy. He's actually super young. He's like 21 years old, 22 years old. I didn't find him, but my buddy Blake found him. We found him on YouTube, like freestyle rapping. He's a really YBN Cordae is probably one of the best freestyle rappers out there.
Better than B Rabbit.
Oh, bro, yeah, of course, bro. Way better than B Rabbit. No, but so this kid, YBN Cordae, was his debut album, and it was also up for Rap Album of the Year. I don't think he got it. I can't remember. I didn't watch the Grammys. I don't really care about the Grammys that much. But it was The Lost Boy, and it's a really good album. I think it's really cool because it's like it's his debut album, and the production on it was insane. I thought that every song flowed into the next song pretty much seamlessly. I don't know. He kind of tells you, he sings a little bit there. There's a couple good skits that are singing like little gospel, so you can see the gospel transition that he likes. I don't know, man. He just like, I think he does tell a story that, you know, of just I don't know, man. Just like there's a little bit of love in there. I don't know. There's a little bit of hard times in there. There's like, you know, kind of a true, I would say, like debut album of like, this is who he is. You know, he has his struggles, but he still comes out on top. Like all of that stuff. I don't know. He lays down bars, and I don't know about you guys, but I've seen this artist live performing this album too. So that's why
With
I was. YBN Cordae.
It was like he was the headliner. Concert?
Logic was the headliner.
Logic.
Gotcha.
Logic, and then it was YBN Cordae and JID.
Oh,
But it was this album that he performed.
Gotcha.
So I also got to see it live, and I also chose this album because it was my number one listened album of the year.
Oh, wow.
On Spotify. Thank you, Spotify.
Shout
But
out.
I will also say that Mirrorland was YBN Corday's album, and Mirrorland came out pretty much close to each other.
Excellent.
And I was like back and forth on both albums, like because I have this huge problem of listening to albums. Like I'll just queue up albums at work or when I'm
that's
in
a
the
problem.
car, and I'll listen to albums front to back all day long. Yeah, I don't know. YBN Cordae is up and coming. He's got a lot of like famous people that are like, damn, you're doing great things. Like oh my God, Eminem's producer.
Yes.
Dre.
Dr. Dre loves YBN Cordae. P. Diddy loves YBN Cordae. There's a bunch of people like, this dude's up and coming, and I'm looking forward because it's literally his debut album. So I'm looking forward to seeing him
For sure.
transition and creating new music and seeing where he can go.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was a good album. So for mine, you gotta be super basic here. I picked Post Malone's Hollywood Bleeding. So my issue was I don't know. I don't want to say
I was surprised that you picked a rap album. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Well, and here's
I
the
was
thing.
hoping that Mitch was gonna be the one.
But
Yeah,
can you call it rap?
The only
true.
only album that I could think of off the top of my head from an artist or a band that really would have been like album of the year would have been Slipknot's newest album, but I've not listened to that all the way through.
Oh, okay.
So I can't say like, yeah. My biggest thing here is I've just been super busy this year and haven't been listening to as much music. And out of the couple of albums I've listened to through and through, this one stands out to me the most. I'm a huge production guy. I love almost like the cinematic feel to albums. And that's what I absolutely love about Post Malone's albums, especially this one, is It's not. Yes, it is a hip hop album if you want to call it that, but it also has tons of like rock influence in it as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely does.
shit, he has Ozzy Osbourne on the damn album.
Which is wild.
But
Post Malone made Ozzy Osbourne famous too. You guys know that?
I
did
don't know
not
if
know that.
Ozzy Osbourne's this rock dude, and I don't know if you ever heard of him
Wow.
before, but Post Malone put him on the map.
He
bro.
found him, bro. He found him.
But on the same track has Travis Scott,
True.
which
Yes.
to me is
Legendary, bro. That's a legendary track.
And to me, it's the fusion of this production and these phenomenal artists, and because really the only other albums to me that really stood out of like these are really good are Blink-182's 9 and Kanye West's Jesus is King.
Okay, you did listen to it?
Yeah, all the way through
I
multiple
re-
times. I really
Right?
like that
bro.
album.
That shit slapped.
Yeah,
bro.
I-
that shit slapped.
I'm a huge
Still
fan of that
haven't.
album.
Yeah.
Still
I,
haven't. I'm sorry.
I went into it expecting a gospel album, like you said, and I was thoroughly impressed. I thought it was
the
fantastic.
production on that album
Again,
is
production.
phenomenal,
Production.
bro.
That's
Have
why I
you
tell
listened
people-
to that?
I have not, but I do know that they had a
Merchandise.
post-album patch
Yeah,
redoing the
yeah.
what is it? the levels or whatever of a lot of the mixing. They redid the mixing on the album,
Okay.
Yep.
which I do think is very interesting that albums these days can have post-release patches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Kanye
kinda
West
bogus,
is
yeah.
really bad about that too. Out of
Kanye
anyone that
doesn't give a
ever
shit, bro.
happens to,
Con-
it's always Kanye. That's always
Yeah,
who I hear.
I
I mean,
about.
which is
Kanye did
interesting
whatever.
too, because if you bought the physical CD or vinyl, you just like shit out of luck.
I mean, nah. You still got
mean,
a
you
good
got
ass
the,
album,
Crappy mixing.
but yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
But
it's
yeah,
just
Go back,
interesting.
go back.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that I was really I was looking through albums, and a lot of my albums I wanted to pick were from 2018. I didn't even realize that.
Bro.
I was going
Ditto.
through and I'm like,
I will say I agree with you wholeheartedly. 2019 for music sucked.
yeah, it was really
Overall,
rough.
there
It was
wasn't
really rough.
like there wasn't like Drake didn't come out, like the big names didn't come out with
Post
albums.
was
It
really the only
yeah.
name, and like I said, that's why I felt like I was being basic because I was looking through my albums. I'm like, everything that I
Yeah.
want is 2018. So Post
Yeah.
Malone's. I know for a fact I've listened to Hollywood's Bleeding many times.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, this, and
Okay.
I thoroughly love the album. So
That's fair. That's fair.
I know.
All right, Dallin, I know you wanted to add a little bit of a little something to something.
a
Yeah.
little something.
So something.
Yeah, my brain's just all over the place. I just want to say before we get into All My Heroes Are Cornballs that, I don't know, part of the subjects of what Peggy was rapping about that really stuck with
Peggy,
me.
you keep calling him Peggy.
Yeah, JPEG.
Yeah, JPEGMAFIA is also known as Peggy, I guess.
Peggy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of the subjects of, I don't know, anxiety and self-doubt, self-identity,
Okay.
I don't know, it just really like, I just really related to it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of those bars like really stuck out to me. And I don't know, I think like listening to it, I can like apply it to my own life. Not in like a literal sense, but I don't know, it's just kind of inspiring to hear. And another thing I really liked about it, like with the samples, I really like that I use like a lot of video game samples from it. Like
Yep.
I know in Keenan versus Kel, he uses the codec sound from Metal Gear Solid.
Mhm.
And I think in PTSD, he uses the in the old 2D Zelda games, like from the original, when you get like half a heart of health, you get a little sound start playing when you get low on health. He sampled that in there. He also sampled the startup sound from a PS4. There's a lot of little stuff in there that like every time I listen to, I always find something new, and it's just very interesting.
That's cool.
But I am very excited. Not excited, but I'm looking forward to what y'all think
What we
about.
all
I guess
think,
I'm
baby.
excited, but I'm looking forward to what y'all think of the album, just because I feel like it's very different out there, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I guess I'll start this.
Yeah. Go for it.
this
Go for it. Go for it. Let's critique this
collab,
album
this
now.
critique. So, like Dallin, I do like the unique and the different sounding stuff. So JPEG, it took a little bit for this album, but I have heard some of his stuff, and I do like what he does. It's different, and it's beautiful what he does, and like Millennium Freestyle, I'd recommend anyone to listen to that, because I mean it's kind of our generation, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
He does a lot of good sampling of different songs, and he has, like, through My Friends Are All My Heroes Are Cornballs, right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
God damn it. Alcohol. So
Many White Claws.
there is a lot of beautiful things I found just listening to this again. He has a lot of good samples and like some catchy fucking lyrics that I can just like repeat and just be like kind of out of nowhere. I'm just like playing with pencils for fun. I mean, he does some good stuff. It's definitely different, and I picked up, like Dallin said, you pick up on different stuff when you listen to it again. So I listened to it twice. Everyone's
Okay.
twice. And when he's doing
I think I did the same. I think I.
one of his songs, it's doing I think it's TLC.
Yeah,
Scrub.
dude. Yeah.
And-
That's the one thing that I
So
noticed too.
he
The
bro-
sampling of that. Yeah.
When he broke through, like, so he does one part of the lyric and then he burps. Like, there's a burp, and
didn't
it's just
notice
like,
that. I
oh,
didn't
that's
notice that.
fucking genius. Because it's kind of like he doesn't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
But it's still good.
okay.
So, like, he definitely, as Dallin was saying, like, he has his aggressive, his laid back, and his, like, I don't give a fuck. But one thing that I really want to talk about is he definitely had fun, because there's a point where they're in the studio because he has all these people just like doing kind of skits and such, and he has a girl just talking about like, all right, I have to just say some random stuff here for filler, but he used it in a song and it was great. Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
dude. Are you done?
okay, so I want to
Okay,
give it
okay.
on a Chris scale, 1 to
Ooh,
10.
okay.
Chris
Yeah, let's do
scale.
that. Let's do that.
I
Let's
give
do
it
that.
an 8. I give it an
Okay.
8. JPEG.
Okay.
Yep.
So my first question is about the album is, what number is this? Is this a debut? Has he because before
Be a sophomore out. Well, no. I believe this is his third full length album.
third? Okay.
I was about to say, I feel like he's been out for a while. I've never
A little
really
bit.
listened to his
I've
stuff,
never
but-
listened to him really, but I
I forget what his first album's called. It might be an LP, but I don't know
Puff
for
Daddy?
sure.
So either way,
Black
either way.
Ben
Ben Carson.
Carson.
Yeah,
He's
Black
newer.
Ben Carson. Veteran.
He's newer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I listen to it, same thing. Like the first listen through, the first like the TLC, when that whole song where he sampled that, I was like, hell yes. But I could tell, like, from my standpoint, when you said that, like, to the production and stuff, to me, he seems like he's a producer that's rapping. Like, the production
yeah,
was
definitely.
the production was phenomenal. Every single song like transitioned into the next song almost seamlessly. Like, you didn't know that the next song was starting, and like I try to, like, when I listen to it in my car mostly when I like driving to work or driving home from work, and I try not to like watch the time of the song on my like console. I try to just like obviously pay attention to the road while I'm driving, but I try to like see if I can tell when the next song starts, and I couldn't almost half the time, or majority of the time, and I did respect that. But I did, when he laid down like true rap verses, I was like, hell yeah, like I love this shit. But I think mostly, for the most part, for me, it was a really good album. I enjoyed it, but it seemed like he was mostly like production, which I totally respect, but I don't know if he's like found his sound yet, I think is what my overall feeling of it is, just because like, and maybe that's just him, and because I don't know who he is, maybe that's just him, that's just me yapping, but I feel like he's all over the place, of like he's singing in this song and then he's rapping in this song and then he's producing in this song, and I respect all of it, but I don't know if he's like truly found what his sound is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just feel like
If that makes sense, yeah.
I just feel like song to song, he's like it's all very like
It's wild.
It's all very emotional.
For
is
sure.
what I would say is like I definitely
he's here
would
one
agree.
song, he's all the way over here
Yeah.
in the next song,
Like,
for sure.
It's very emotional, and
Yeah.
like I said, the major downside I'd say with him is his singing ain't all that.
Oh,
you
I
know,
don't give
like,
a shit about it. I
but
know
like-
that. Production, that's all production. You can make it sound.
I mean, the one thing I would give him credit for, being an MC, is song to song. He doesn't reuse any flows, I feel like, and it's all very unique.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's it's good,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Are you gonna give it
Tell
a
us,
rating, or is that just?
Oh
a-
yeah,
Tell
my
us.
rating. I'll give it.
out of a 10.
I'll give it a 7. I like the production holds. The production is phenomenal. I don't know. Like when his verses were there, they were there. But I think like there was a couple songs.
Oh, there's some cringe bars.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like a couple of the songs there was like 1 to no verses, which is fine. But like I was looking for a rap album, and I don't know if it was always there.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like the most witty MC or anything, but
it was good
for me. It's just a lot of like the content that stuck out to me.
for sure.
Yeah. Meet my Grammy waifu.
Yeah. No, for me, so I listened to Chris's album first, then your album next, and then Nolan's album.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was expecting, but it was not that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way to explain it, and that's not a bad thing. I absolutely love experimental stuff, and that's the biggest thing I chalk it up to. When I was listening to it, I'm like, this is like highly experimental. This is all over the place, and it's just, I'm with Nolan. Like, I don't know if he's found a sound yet, but the different like certain songs I'm kind of like meh. Other songs I'm like, okay, like I like this. I enjoy this.
Yep.
And for me, it was once I got into the album, it started to make sense and everything. But at first, I'm just like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, holy shit, what am I listening to? This is wild.
Yeah.
But like I said, I enjoyed it, and like, yes, the TLC cover was really good. I'm a huge fan of samples and how people can take things from all over the place. One sample that stood out to me, I checked my phone 3 different times because I'm like, why is this happening? He sampled the low battery sound from Android phones. And my phone was charging, but I heard it, and it was I was downstairs in my living room. I was listening to the second half of the album, and I can't remember what song it was, but I heard it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I pick up my phone, I'm like, my phone's at 40%. Why would it make this sound? Oh my God. So like,
that's awesome.
The intricacies of these samples they pulled out, I'm like, holy shit, I never noticed the PS4 sample. Now I kind of would go back and try to find it.
True.
But that's what really stood out to me was the sampling and that. So for me, when I listened to it, it's completely experimental, and some songs and certain bars he had, I'm like, yeah, like you were talking about earlier, like how you could relate to it. I heard there were certain lyrics and bars that stood out to me. I'm like, okay, I get where he's coming from. But then other times, certain samples and certain bars, I'm just kind of like, what is this? I feel like it's just kind of tossed in there. So, and like I said, I only listened to it once, so I'll definitely have to go back and listen to it again. That was the biggest thing. It like going through the albums, like that was the biggest wrench in the mix. What is this? This is wild. I'm with Nolan. I definitely give it a 7. Just for me, the fact of how all over the place, but at the same time, there was I could tell each track had its own thought process and own like reason things were there. Some tracks are better than others, obviously, but yeah, that's definitely where I was at. It was wild. That was a roller coaster.
But it did all mesh. Like I felt like there was like the transitions that took place, like you know, on the between songs. It like all of a sudden just like the beat switches were just like the shit all makes sense. You know what I mean? Like you get that feeling that one song just goes right into the other without any like flawlessly.
I mean, I just love that, you know, one of the songs be like really laid back, then the next second's just hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm very surprised that you all didn't say that you just hated it.
Yeah.
No,
because like I came in here just expecting everyone to be very down on it.
Oh, no.
Just you know,
no,
it's too crazy or whatever.
crazy
But like when I first listened to it, I knew what I was getting into, and I just loved every single second of it.
For sure.
Definitely not my taste in music, but it's cool to hear these things. And for me, when I see these albums, what these albums do is they lay the groundwork for future artists and future albums, because they'll listen to this album, and out of the entire hour that the album is, or however long it is, they'll take maybe 2 to 3 minutes of it, and they'll be able to create a whole new sound out of that 2 to 3 minutes. So that's where I gain the respect for an album like this, where I'm like, a majority of it, I don't know what's going on, but for me at least, there's a few, you know, bars, the few 30-second samples where I'm like, this is it. Like, this is where things are going. So
I will say his track, the like album track. What's the album called?
All My Heroes Are Cornballs.
Yeah, that song was insane. That's the one song that I like that I made sure that I like really paid attention to when I saw it come on. I was like, oh,
title
shit,
tracks, baby.
The title track, and that shit slapped for sure. That thing, yeah. For
Yeah,
sure. It was a good album.
I'm just happy y'all didn't hate it. That's it.
No way. No way.
Win for Dallin.
I'm very excited that I know 3 people that have listened to this album.
Let's get into it. So the next is Mirrorland
Mirrorland,
with Earthgang. Dallin, what's your thoughts?
I really like the album that it has its own distinct sound. I don't think you can go to anybody else and get the exact same sound that Earthgang brings to the table.
Because there's 2 people. Earthgang's got 2 people.
Yes.
okay, I was going to ask that.
Venus and I don't know what the other one, but I know for sure there's 2 people.
There's like a singer and there's like a rapper.
Okay.
They're both rappers, but yeah.
Samantha.
I mean, they do both.
But I really like their own unique sound. A couple of the tracks stand out. Like also their features were pretty dope. Jid came on. You did what Jid does.
Yep.
He always kills it.
Yep.
I can't name any. I think is it Colors? Shoot, one of their songs. I can't name it.
You're good.
But there's a couple tracks that really stand out to me that I totally see thrown in a playlist. I just feel like listening to albums as a whole. Sometimes they, when they run over an hour, they can kind of drag on. And I just feel like for me personally, the sound of Mirrorland, I don't know, they have like a lot of like reggae trap vibes to it, which is totally awesome. Like I could totally vibe to that. But I was 40 minutes into an hour-long album. I was kind of just like a lot of the tracks seemed to kind of like drag into each other, and it was hard to kind of pick one from the other. But overall, I really, really enjoyed the album. Especially like the singing. There's a lot of different flows that they get into that no other, like I don't hear any other rapper, singers, whatever you want to call them, do, and
hip hop
or whatever. Like
R&B.
Yeah.
it's just very unique. They bring something new to the sound that I really respect, and I could definitely go back and listen to this album multiple times and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'd give it a probably give it an 8 out of 10.
Woo. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
So
Thank you.
I guess I'll just get right into it here because, like I said earlier, I'm a huge Earthgang fan. They're awesome. They're part of Dreamville, which I'm a very big fan of. Shout out J. Cole. Thank you for listening, J. Cole.
Yes.
But Earthgang, I like this album, the Mirrorland album. Dude, I mean the beats on this album are just insane, dude. Like they are right up in your face, just like give you everything. And like I like Earthgang because they both rap fast as hell. And they just go in on like there's a couple verses where you're just like blown away, and I really like that. And I feel like they have like African drums or like they sample a lot, and they're like it's out there. I feel like their beats are super out there, and I really respect Earthgang for sure. I'm Proud of You is a really good song. That's one of my favorite songs off the album for sure. But I have nothing bad to say about the Earthgang album at all. I feel like they just go. Like there's a couple songs where like they switch it up halfway through the song and it's still just hard as hell and you're just headbanging and all that. And I like same thing. I feel like all of our albums that we picked have like the overall production of just like seamless through like each and every song where it just flows into and I respect that on that album for sure. Yeah, I don't know. My rating, I would say an 8 out of 10 is pretty solid rating for it as well. I like. Yeah, they're wild, man. They both they're very talented, and they're from the ATL, bro. They're
ATL, baby.
Yeah,
ATL.
they're a good group. And this is like their third or fourth or maybe fifth album. I think they produce a lot of music, and I think they're slowly finding themselves and stuff. And I think it's Their Earthgang is really good. I think that they have a unique sound within the label, and I think they're good, man.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mitch. So Chris's album was the first one I listened to.
Okay.
And I'm not a super big into. I mean, I listen to hip hop, rap, R&B,
for
whatever
sure.
you want to call it, whatever genre it may fall under. And while it was a good album, for me, a majority of it just sort of felt the same. Sort of like Dallin was saying, it sort of blended into each other. It wasn't bad by any means, but to me, nothing really stood out. And that's probably just my own music taste. So all I had to say, there were a couple songs where I'm like, this is really good. I could see myself putting this on a playlist, but the rest of it just felt like, yeah, I'll listen to this when I listen to the album, and that will, unless someone else puts the song on, I'll listen to it. It was cool because there's almost like a Latino fusion.
Yeah, dude, I felt that
in
too.
a couple of songs, so I'm like, that was cool to hear that. But I literally, other than JPEGMAFIA, your guys' albums, I'd never heard of these artists before in my life.
Damn, bro. That's what I like to hear too.
So like Earthgang, okay, who's this? And I when I was listening to him, like, okay, there's definitely more than one person in this.
Yep.
Like, I could tell there's like at least 2, if not 3. And it was a solid album, but it just, to me, it wasn't anything that really jumped out at me. I'm like, yeah, I really like this. It was easy listen, and that was basically about it. So
what's your rating?
I'll give it a 6, just because, like I said, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you're good. I feel like same thing with the JPEGMAFIA, that it had the album has its moments where you're just like, oh my god, this all makes sense.
Yeah.
And then
Other parts were just like, oh, man, whatevs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Another reason why I picked it, because it feels like it reflects a lot of Dreamville within it.
Yeah. And
For sure.
yeah, I think we should just take a second for that Dreamville album.
Yeah. Fucking banger.
I mean, that, like, we talked about it here one time on the podcast.
The Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
Yes.
Yeah, the Revenge of the Dreamers 3. They literally were in a studio for 10 days straight.
Yeah, you've talked
Nobody
about that.
left, and they just made this album. Everybody that's on the Dreamville record label, and on top of that, it was just insane.
Damn.
But yeah, Earthgang, for sure.
Shout out Earthgang.
Yeah, so I guess it's my turn now on you guys critiquing.
Yes. YBN Cordae.
YBN Cordae, the Lost
YB
Boy. So
Cordae.
I don't know. We're just going to start with Dallin again.
Yeah,
I think we should.
Dallin, go for
All
it.
right, Dallin, let's see it, bro.
Where to start? I know. I like, the biggest thing that comes out to me listening to Cordae is that I'm very happy that a new school rapper is talking about something else other than drugs and money and weed.
Bro, yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I respect that.
I really like that. I feel like he is on the front lines of, bringing something of substance to new school rap. I really like the jazzy gospel sound throughout the whole album. Does come very complete. It's very cohesive.
Yeah.
The biggest thing also sticks out to me too is the features on the album. I don't know if there's any feature that I dislike. All the features really brought something and came to the added to the album. As far as Cordae goes, I feel like lyrically he's definitely on point. Definitely has a lot of fun rhymes, and other rhymes let you think a little bit about something. And one of the songs that really stuck out to me, I don't know the title of the song, but the song where he's kind of talking about is family.
Yes.
Family matters.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I really enjoyed that. And he has a couple bangers on the song. I Have Mercy, and there's another one.
Probably broke as fuck.
Yeah.
I was broke as fuck. No.
Yeah, but those both those are really fun to listen to. I feel like overall I just really look forward to seeing what his next album is.
Yeah, dude.
Because I definitely feel like he's still growing.
I mean, yeah, literally
he's
debut
young.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Probably give it an 8 out of 10 again.
Nice, yeah.
I think the biggest, one of the biggest things that sticks out to me too is this album is him being in the YBN crew, and not a single feature from anyone.
Yeah, I've never understood that because YBN. Okay, so his name is Cordae.
Yeah.
But he's YBN Cordae, and YBN's like the
It's like
crew.
ASAP. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like ASAP. Yeah. But yeah, I don't
know if he's just trying to distance himself.
I think they all do their own thing. I really do. I haven't listened to anybody else in the YBN.
What does YBN
I
stand
don't
for?
know. There's really not a reason to listen to any of them.
Oh.
I think is what it stands
N-words.
for. Yeah. I think
Up
that's
there,
what it
brother.
stands for. Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
Oh, NWA.
I think that's what it stands for. I'm not.
Okay.
Don't quote me, but
That makes sense.
yeah, cool. I'm glad you liked the album. Had you listened to it before?
Yes, I listened to it when it
Okay.
came out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been following him. Like, I remember like his first single that came out was his response to J. Cole's.
Yeah. Yep.
Shoot, I forget the name of the song.
1985.
Yeah,
I think it was-
1980 something. Yeah.
Yep.
Then he had a couple singles. I didn't really like enjoy those as much. They felt very like generic trap shit.
Yep.
But I was very excited, surprised when this album came out, and it was much different than just generic trap shit
Yep.
that everyone else comes out
Yep.
with. He definitely has his own sound. I definitely hear some influence from J. Cole. Definitely hear some influence from Chance on his singing parts. And dude, he's got some lungs on him, dude. Like his singing ain't half bad.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
Yep.
But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Looking
Cool.
forward to whatever else he comes out with.
Yeah.
For sure.
Very nice. Now, YBN, why be them? As the good old Pusha T says.
Pusha T, dog.
Yes, this young man. I'm
This
glad.
young man.
I am so glad to hear a young individual or young rapper in today's society not talking about bitches and
Percocet.
Percocet and Gucci gang. Fuck you, little pump. So
Jesus.
You heard it here.
You heard
first,
it
Lil
straight up
Pump.
here.
Fuck you.
fuck you, little pump. You didn't go to fucking Harvard. Get the fuck out of here. All right, sorry. Back to YBN. Good stuff. I definitely loved his gospel-esque parts because
Yeah.
it like kind of breaks, that kind of like hard ass rap or that like deep down rap and kind of like vibes with like something more family oriented. And I really want to know, like I didn't really dig too much, which just kind of sucks. Like I like to get to know more about like the individual and about like what inspired them. And I want to know if it was his family that recorded. Like, if he just got his family again, like, hey, let's do, like, a gospel kind of song.
Oh, like on the skit, or
Like
I called them skits because
They are
like,
That's what it
skits.
says, yeah.
that's I
Like
yeah.
the older lady singing or whatever.
like,
or,
was that his
Lord have
grandma?
mercy or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, it's cool to see awesome how, like, he does, like, Lord, like, he has that verse of Lord have mercy, like I use my three favors, and then use it in like a gospel.
I love that too. I was gonna mention that.
So that was a cool thing. Overall, I did enjoy most of the stuff. Don't have really much bad stuff to say. I mean, he's up and coming, so it's cool to see what he has to offer. But I'm grateful that he's not like the other
Yeah,
young
for
rappers
sure.
out there.
Yeah.
I can't really get too in depth. I really agree with what Dallin said. A lot of what Dallin said basically just checks off what I had to say.
Cool.
So yeah, just keep doing you, YBN, and once again leave the YBN if you need to because you's getting money. You ain't no
Yeah.
more longer
Yeah.
broke as fuck.
Yeah.
So I give it
There you go. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. It's a solid album.
I didn't know all these albums, I didn't know what to expect. The biggest thing that stood out to me about this album was not just the message, but the production behind the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
It feels like a professional album. It
Right,
feels like
yep.
something Kanye would release, J. Cole. And I didn't know this until you guys were talking about. I had no idea this was his first album.
Yeah.
It does
bro,
not feel like a
that's-
first
that's
album.
what I'm saying. Yeah, dude.
I was so impressed by the whole entire thing. This genuinely like I went into it thinking it's just gonna be another rap album. It does have common themes of one, but at the same time, like Dallin said, the Family Matters song. Holy shit.
Yep.
That alone solidified the album to me as like this album's great. It's fantastic. And for the most part, it felt like a wholesome message. There was a couple songs where I'm kind of like, whatever, typical. It felt like typical, not slang, but sort of the message they're trying to get across. But the rest of it felt genuine. It felt he's like, I'm not trying to, sit here and talk about, Vicodin and, having sex with, 3 different women in the same night. It felt wholesome almost. When you were, the gospel stuff was almost angelic, if you want to call it that. The production value was amazing on it, and it honestly blew me away. I was listening to it while I was at the gym. And out of the 3 of your guys, this was the favorite one I listened to. Just because I had no idea this was his. I thought he had multiple albums before this. This felt so fucking polished to me, at least. Like I was so impressed. Yeah, I really was.
Dope.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, as far as like the production goes, it didn't feel it definitely felt cohesive, but it didn't feel samey. And I didn't get bored of the sound.
Yes.
And once again, though, it's another like 40-minute album.
Yep.
I didn't overstay its welcome, and I was able to be entertained the whole way through.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
No, I guess that's another. I'd hop back in here as well. The features on this, huge name features, but it didn't feel like he needed those featers for the album to be successful. That was the biggest thing. When I looked through the track list, I'm like, okay, Chance, Pusha T, Meek Mill. I'm like, okay, he's got some big names on here.
Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah, Ty Dolla. Yeah, Ty Dolla $ign.
Did you have Andre?
What was it?
No,
Anderson .Paak. Sorry,
Anderson .Paak.
That was a fucking banger.
Yeah.
R&B, bro. God, Lord.
So listening to you look at those, you're like, okay, well, there's at least good features on the album. The features were like low on the list of things that stood out to me, which to me signals a fantastic album. Those people are on here because they want to be a part of the project, not because they're going to make the project more popular.
That's cool.
So that was another big thing that stood out to me in the sense of like the features didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
But they added to it, but
I think
album was fantastic.
Cool. What's your overall?
9 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, one more thing. Sorry, cut you off.
No.
Speaking of the features, I heard you mention Chance.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to Chance?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
His feature on here was awesome. His Chance like all the way through is amazing.
Yep.
His album.
The Big Day. Yeah, The Big Day.
Oh boy.
What happened
was not
there?
a big day.
What happened there?
Fun fact: The Lost Boy and what was that Chance's album called?
The Big Day.
The Big Day released on the same day, and they both had each other featured on their albums.
Really?
I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know. It's but yeah, what happened? To Chance
And that was Chance's debut album too.
Oh yeah.
Everything else was a mixtape.
Mixtape technically.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
And he
loves his wife. I'll tell you
He
that.
shit the bed, dude.
He did. He did, man. I love Chance. All his mixtapes are phenomenal, but I think he's kind of
Sell out?
not
no, it just
it's the
he
same
lost
with
himself,
Logic.
dude.
It's the
Oh,
same with
yeah.
Logic.
Okay.
I think they kind of both just got super famous and don't give a shit.
I mean, are
about
you gonna
anything
say
anymore.
it was
And I'm not
experiment?
saying that's good or bad.
Are you gonna say The Big Day was experimental, or are you gonna say that he was just sniffing his own farts too much?
Sniffing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
But my 2 cents on YBN's album, just in general as well. Just recapping a bit. I think as you guys were talking about it, I think 2 of my favorite songs were both the skits, dude. Like the
Yeah, okay.
Lord Have Mercy when he was singing the 2 soulful songs that are in there are just incredible, and I think they add very well to it. And I think that like it does have
the
an
message, the story.
Yeah,
it's a
It
story.
has all of that. It has a story, and I do like the overall message of a lost boy.
Yeah.
I don't know, like he's kind of just doing his own
for
thing,
sure.
finding his own way, and I think being a young adult you can relate to that. You're kind of slowly figuring out like what we've always been talking about. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
No,
Lost and
I
found,
appreciate the
baby.
words. I'm glad you guys like it because and this is just rap as a whole. JPEGMAFIA, Post Malone's in there, Earthgang's in there. Just like these albums that at least the music that I listen to, and it's the same with you guys, I'm sure, is it's not just a fucking rap album where they're talking about drugs. They're talking like
Pussy, money, weed.
Yeah, pussy money, weed. Literally,
Pussy, money,
I feel like I could sit my mom down,
Shout out
who's a
ASAP.
goddamn choir teacher,
Yeah.
or sit literally anybody down and be like, come into this with an open mind, open heart, open thoughts on everything. And I promise you're gonna like this album. I don't
Hip
care
hop's
who
the
it
new
is.
rock and roll,
But-
dude. In the
and-
sense of it takes so many
This
different
guy.
genres and it melds them together. It's the new rock and roll. And this
It-
is coming
Well-
from someone who loves metal,
Yeah.
loves punk, loves everything with a guitar. Like
Hip hop is the new pop.
y-
I don't
yeah,
care. Like this.
It's the new rock and roll, dude.
Well, that's something I wanted to talk about when we get to Mitch's album.
Well,
Maybe
we can
I'll
jump
wait.
into
I'll
it.
wait.
Yeah,
I'll
Let's
wait.
just get into it.
yeah.
I'll wait until I get to talk about it. Wait, I'm talking about now.
Sorry, you start.
It's
Holy
right now.
shit.
Oh wow!
Surprise, motherfucker.
Some
I'm
fries.
going to take this moment to ask, do you think rap as a genre has outgrown itself? Because, I mean, you look at all 4 of our albums, none of them are like, I know it's genres is very like subjective and there's no point talking about what goes into what
Yeah,
genre because
yeah.
it's all can go anywhere. But I don't know. I feel like rap and hip hop is like, I don't know, trap and everything is just all outgrown itself to where like you get like R&B, you get singing, you get pop, you get hip hop, you get soulful music, and it's all just grouped into this one genre of rap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what to do about it. I don't think there is anything to do about it, but I don't know, it's just very interesting to see how one genre can expand to so many different sounds.
And I agree with you. I agree with you. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Mitch.
you're good.
But I feel like I don't know what I'm trying to say. I feel like rap is the only genre, if you will, that encompasses all genres.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
it's
would say
true.
hip-hop, not
I think
rap.
okay, hip hop
Yeah.
or rap, or hip hop, whatever. But I think this is the genre that encompasses all. Like you have your country that does. I mean, there's no influences
Hip-hop,
anywhere
dude.
other than being I think that this is a rap, hip hop, whatever you want to call it. If it is a new genre, that it literally it is influenced by everybody and is influenced by everybody and influences everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting as a genre as a whole now that it just encompasses so many different sounds.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like I said, because when you look at what rock and roll became, it became the meshing between folk and country and
Yeah.
then what rock was at the
Yeah.
time, and it became all of these things. And I think that's what hip hop is becoming. It's becoming the fusion of trap and rap and R&B and
Pop
and
and
pop,
pop.
and now you're getting hip hop, and you're getting this new thing, and that's why I call it the new rock and roll, is because it is. Take Lil Wayne's The Carter 3. That is a rap album, front to back. Now compare it to something rap album.
Every Carter, but
Yeah, compare it to a rap album from today. They're two completely different
Yeah.
things. So
and then go to NWA and go to
Yeah.
where
it all began.
yeah,
Right,
Dr. Dre's
like-
The Chronic. You
Yeah.
know where
I mean,
Right, Wu-Tang.
yeah,
Wu-Tang,
Wu-Tang,
3-6
Snoop, yeah.
Mafia.
It's just a completely different sound.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just interesting to think about.
It is.
Evolution.
But going on with that, talking about
Post Malone.
Post Malone, Hollywood is Bleeding. It's very hard for me to even find a genre to put this album into.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, going into all these albums, I was mostly dreading listening to this. I have never listened to a full Post Malone project.
Really.
Really.
I've heard some singles here and there,
Mhm.
but I will say that overall I did enjoy it. And, the thing that really kept me going throughout the album is I was very impressed as how many different sounds Post Malone can encapsulate. There's a lot of, generic trap, but he also has some, like indie pop, indie folk type hits,
Circles.
Yeah.
That's the one that. is
Yep.
like a folk song.
Yeah. Then it goes in some songs. It's like very popish. Overall, I really like enjoyed the sound. I think it's a very easily digestible album.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like, listening to it, I mostly just listen to the different melodies of the album. But as far as like substance goes, nothing really stuck out to me. But I don't know if that's just because I don't know Post as like a person or as an artist. I don't feel like this album is very personal to him. And I don't know if that's just because this is like his third album. I know there was Stoney,
And then
Beer Bongs, and Bentleys. So maybe those would be more personal projects. But I still really enjoyed it. And as far as like the features go, like I said, the Ozzy Osbourne, Travis Scott song, that was amazing. That was really cool to listen to. A nice fusion of like rock and pop. I was really down on Meek Mill's and the Baby's features.
Oh, don't talk shit about the baby boy.
Fuck
I
the
love
baby.
the baby.
He has one good song,
Shug?
one hit wonder.
for a later date.
I don't know. All of it. Let's not even get into that. Let's skip that. We're talking about Post.
I'm with you. I don't think.
But being the first time really digesting going to an album of him, starting out writing it, I was able to listen to it. I enjoyed it. It was easily digestible. I could easily just see me throwing the album on as a background, music to whatever I'm doing. Overall, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10.
There you go.
Right on.
What
Good
you
old Post Malone.
Posty post.
I definitely enjoyed Stoney, his first ever album.
Yep.
And to hear him come out with Hollywood's Bleeding, I liked it. It was better. I personally think it was better than Beer Bongs and Bentleys. I feel like he had more of his emotion in some of his songs. Like, sure, he still has those very catchy stuff, but Post is doing his thing, and I can't really, I guess, shit on him because, like, I enjoy his stuff. I enjoy what he's doing. I had no real issues with the album. Some of his features were questionable, as Dallin was saying. Meek Mill, little baby.
the baby, that baby guy.
But the baby guy. But for sure, like when he had "Die for Me" with Future and Halsey, for some reason that really I felt some emotion in that. Even though it was like talking about like bitches being bitches. But I don't know, like I've dealt with some shit like that, but that's more of a personal thing. But yeah, I really felt it was a great intro, and I'm surprised how much I loved Internet on this album.
Yes.
I for a second I thought that was the closing song, but I was like, oh wait, there's so much more. So I don't know, like for me, I give it a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like Post Malone stuff. I enjoy where he came from, like very like not known to blowing up and selling out arenas, and I don't know. I enjoy what he's doing. I don't have much shit to say.
No.
But yeah, definitely he made Ozzy Osbourne famous.
Yeah,
I mean,
shout out.
Put
Shout
Ozzy
out,
on
Matt,
it.
put Ozzy on the map. Who knows what Black Sabbath is? I don't fucking Jesus. Who bites bats' heads off? I don't fucking know, man.
True.
Fucking myths. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say. I'm sorry. Not much.
I agree with Chris on the fact that I love Stoney. His first album.
Yes.
I mean, I can there. That summer that one came out, I had 3 albums. On my internship, I was traveling all summer in a car, driving everywhere. And I had 3 albums on a playlist. And it was Stoney, Control by SZA, and then Khalid's album.
SZA's featured
American
on
Teen.
Yeah, Khalid's American Teen is fantastic.
Yeah.
Shout
SZA's
out.
featured on Staring at the Sun on Post Malone's Hollywood's Bleeding.
Yeah,
Aw.
yeah.
And that's a
SZA's
fan-
a
yeah.
bad bitch. I
That
fucking
album or that
love
song is fucking
SZA.
kicks
Anyways,
ass.
I agree with Dallin on the fact that Stoney was a very personal project that was like who Post Malone is for sure. I felt that Beer Bongs and Bentley was a total corporate move of just him making an album. And then I kind of got the same feel from this album. I love, like, Post Malone can't do anything wrong in my eyes. I'll listen to his music. Same thing of, like, I'll put it on the background music and listen to it all day. But I didn't feel Post Malone's emotions on this album. Kind of, I felt like it was kind of the same thing of, like, making another album to make another album. But I still liked it. I mean, a lot of good features. I felt like it was a little long. I felt like there was a lot of tracks on the album. But I mean, I can't talk shit about Post Malone. He's awesome. Like, but I felt like it was a good album. I enjoyed listening to it. I've listened to it before. The only album that I hadn't heard of was JPEG. But yeah, I mean, it was a good album. I'll probably give it 6 is probably pretty accurate, just because it's, you know, it's a solid album. I'm not gonna talk shit about it, but like,
could have been better.
I didn't have the desire to go back to listen to it for the album rather than individual tracks.
That's how I was as well. And like I said, I told you guys I had such a tough time picking an album this year.
Good, bro. You're good.
I don't think anybody could listen to this album and not enjoy at least 3 or 4 songs off of it.
100%.
There's something for everybody on here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
as a whole, it's it's a pop. It's more of a pop album than a hip hop album, and production was the biggest thing for me. Yeah. Everything was very well produced.
Yep.
But it is still awesome how Post Malone was able to like do all these different kind of genres with one album.
I think Post Malone's like the one of the only artists that can literally do whatever the fuck he wants. I think he can pick up a guitar. I think he can pick up a drum. I think he can MC with the best of them. I think he's a very chameleon artist that can just do whatever the fuck he wants.
I really like to see him drop the auto-tune a little bit. Hear some songs where it's just his voice.
It's raw.
So I know he's got a great voice. I've heard some stuff off of it, but I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of auto-tune.
Yeah.
And I know it's not like overly used on this album. You know, like some songs it's more prevalent, but others like it's just a little bit. But I would love to see him just some raw vocals.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Well, I think that's all the albums, and
yeah, man.
We're going on an hour and a half here.
So just one more thing, if I could shout out Igor by Tyler Creator.
Yeah.
Was that
2019? If you've listened
that
to
was
yes.
2019.
Yes, it was. I was surprised that wasn't on here. I was
very
honestly,
much more. Would have been my second. Very much more of a pop album by him, but I love it.
And
For sure.
I wish I could shout out Dirty Heads, Supermoon. I'm sorry, it was not at all what I was expecting. I was very wishy-washy with that album.
Damn.
But I did see them live, and it made me change my view on one song. So,
hey,
yeah.
I don't know. I like the Dreamville album. I mean, that was that project was just super fun.
There was a lot of group individual projects this year that just blew me away.
I don't know. I mean, dude, the art. I didn't have a lot of respect when. I guess this is 2018 as well, but like Travis Scott, I like
Astro World.
But if you listen to Rodeo, if you listen to like Biebs in the Trap too, like I didn't have respect for him because I thought he was an auto-tune rapper, and he still is. I think he mostly does it for production wise. I think he just for the sound he wants it, but that dude is slowly taking over the world, and I don't think anybody really realizes it. Like, I don't know. He's got a lot of good music that's coming out, and he's pretty much, I think, in command for rap artists right now. I would say for the most part. I don't know. What about you, Mitch? You got any other rap out or any albums? I don't know.
Like I said, this year was again Blink-182's 9 was solid, but it wasn't anything really to write home about. It wasn't anything like crazy experimental like Neighborhoods was, and it wasn't anything like heartfelt like Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. But that album's what, 17 years old now, you know. Sure. Yeah. So it was really tough for me, and I just went with the one album that I knew the most. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think this is going to be a two-parter.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
This
100%.
podcast went way longer than what we thought we were going to, and I love it because we could probably still yap. So I think Dallin's gonna have to
Come
join
again.
us for next
Yeah.
weekend. For
One more
next
shout
week.
out. IDK's album, Is He Real?
Yes.
Definitely check that out.
Okay.
Good shit.
Okay.
Shout
Yeah, I'll
out.
definitely be back
Next
sometime next week.
week.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss the I don't know, some of our favorite albums throughout the last decade.
The whole
you
decade,
fucking
yeah.
The
betcha.
whole decade.
And
Thank
for all
you.
those preteen girls out there, shout out Billie Eilish for When We All Fall Asleep. Where do we go?
Oh,
That surprised
wow.
me actually.
I didn't listen to that album all the way
It
through.
surprised me.
Okay. I'll have to give it a listen.
I
It's
forgot she
different.
was a
I'm
thing.
not a
I know,
big
right?
Billie
Is
Eilish fan, but
Billie
whatever.
Eyelash.
Eyelash.
Eilish.
Yep. Billie
Well,
Eilish.
thank you for listening to this wonderful podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is your boy, Nolan Miller, signing off of the QLCP. As you can see on our whiteboard here, who am I joined by over here?
Mitch Garrett. Make sure you follow us on Twitter,
Please.
Facebook. We don't have an
Please.
Instagram. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher,
Everywhere.
Life. Follow
Life.
us around.
Yeah,
Yes.
please stop.
Please do.
And yo, skinny boy with pineapple socks,
Ooh.
Chris Sims. Yeah, Twitch and such.
You saying
Cozy,
cozy?
cozy. Yep. Stay cozy. Cozy Bear Air.
Dallin, you signing off over there or what?
This is Dallin Maycumber.
Ooh.
I have no social medias.
Thank
I
you.
do, but I don't use them. So,
Thank you
Shout
for
out,
joining
yeah,
us.
thank
bro.
you. Thank you for
It
joining
was
us.
a fun podcast.
so it was really fun. I'm excited that y'all got to listen to JPEG. I didn't know what y'all think about it, but it's nice they all didn't shit on it. So, thank you.
Till next time, we'll see you next week.
Fuck yeah.
Later.
Stay cozy.